Right. Good morning, guys. Or good evening. So, in our last session, we have discussed about the load balancer. Right. So, any questions on previous session for me, guys? Did you get any chance to perform this, like launching instances and configuring that security groups as we discussed?
Yes, I did it without any error.
Mhm. Okay, so I just want to show you an email that is a primary thing we are going to consider while choosing load balancer. One second, guys. Okay, so if you observe these three images, so basically these are some real requests we got. So if you observe this email, so first of all, we created a load balancer and we have delivered the load balancer. So, but what he analyzed, now we have a problem with request that requires Windows authentication. So basically, seems like we did a network load balancer instead of application load balancer. So how he came to know about that? So that he required a network load balancer. So basically, his application is working with the TCP protocol. See, Windows or Kerberos authentication seems to like you need NLB. So as it happened on the TCP layer. So initially, as per his requirement, we have created an application load balancer and we have delivered it. But that is not working as expected. So he came back to us and he is asking us, okay, what exactly that, can we just change that load balancer? So he mentioned that also here. So can you please change the health checks on our load balancer to a different path also? See, generally what we are doing, we are configuring health check on index.html. But see here, he want to perform health check instead of the slash or instead of the regular index.html, he wants us to perform health check on this particular one. So that application team is going to share. That's one thing. And this is another email that yesterday I have explained about the listener, right, on our load balancer. See, this is just an example for that. So 812728293031. See what we are doing, whatever the traffic coming out to this load balancer on 8127, we are forwarding it to one of the target group. This is one of the target group. 32K, 32I, JKL. That's what, how many target groups we are going to create. Same name we are going to give. But here we are going to give 31, 32, 33, that count we are going to increase like this. So these many ports we are going to open. So yesterday I took some time and I have opened 8080 8888, right? So please understand that concept. Spare some time and try to understand that concept. So, um, see, another one. Yesterday I told you, once target group got created, we cannot change the target type and all. So what I mentioned here, now this ELB is running with all target groups with target type as a IP. The reason is he want to add one of the on-premise server to AWS load balancer. So for that, he want to change the target type. Can we just go and can we modify? No, we cannot. So what we did, we have kept the target group, we have created another target group and we have added same targets to that, but we choose target type as IP address. Once you confirm, we can delete the existing target groups configured with instance as type, right? So this is what we perform here. So these are some emails. And another request from the, I have modified the settings. Now TZ5 IP is working on 55584 port. So this is a target group TZ5. So that is a target group 5. 1, 2, that is a common mechanism we follow. Target group 5 is there that contain couple of EC2 instances. So what he require, what his requirement is, he want us to, whatever the traffic coming on load balancer 55584 port number, it should go to target group 5. So why I give an IP? Earlier we just given TG5, TG6 and all. But later on, we need to create another target group with similar instances, right? So just for easy, TZ, then I have given TZ1 hyphen IP, TZ2 hyphen IP. Same instances added there. So TZ5 IP. So these are some real email communication from client and all. I hope that was clear. So any questions on that, guys? Okay, so let me quickly launch an EC2 instance. Launch instance, and I'm going to take Amazon Linux 2 AMI and T2 Micro, and I'm going with all the default options, and I'm going to use the user data. Let me scroll up and let me pick this user data. So when coming to network load balancer, network LB, is the name I'm giving. So this opening the port for everyone, then review and launching using a key pair. Click on launch instance. So now web server got created. So we can go and we can configure the network load balancer. Steps and everything is similar. Click on create load balancer, network load balancer. So basically I took some time and I have read about this gateway load balancer, guys. So when coming to this gateway load balancer, basically it is designed to support some of the security appliances like firewall kind of things with third party virtual appliances. We can use this gateway load balancer. So this is recently introduced. So if you want to try this, so you can create a name, you can give a name for this, in what VPC you want to run this. So I want to run this in episode 1A and 1B. So then configure the routing. What is the target group you are going to use? The target group, you can give the target group here, and how it is going to perform the health check, instance or IP address. We can go and we can give the target registration type, and it is going to use a port number protocol called GENEVE. This is a protocol it is going to use. So this is a protocol it is going to use. Standard network equipments. So it picks automatically, and for health check you are going to use HTTP, HTTPS or TCP, that you can pick. So then again same like healthy thresholds, unhealthy thresholds, the same thing here. So then click on next. So what is the target you have for this? So we can go and we can register the target, then we can review and we can launch it. So similar mechanism. So but it is designed to deliver traffic for like uh, third party virtual appliances. For example, if you go to AWS marketplace, so in AWS marketplace we can purchase many firewall appliances, Fortinet or F5. So we can go here and we can search, where is that, discover products. So we can search for the required products here. So for example, you are looking for firewall. Go and look for the firewall. Fortinet is one of the very commonly used firewall solution within AWS. Go and pick that. So then we need to subscribe. Basically $1 per hour it is going to cost us. So now you have a Fortinet directly. You don't want to manage anything with this. So you want to distribute the load and all. So then you can go and you can configure this newly introduced load balancer. So gateway load balancer is designed for virtual third-party appliance that supports Genevieve protocol, right? Mainly security kind of applications. We choose this. So even yesterday, that's the first time I've seen this gateway load balancer. Okay, so when coming to this network load balancer, supported protocol is a matter. So that's what we discussed yesterday. TCP, TLS, right? Go here and click on create. And among all the load balancers, this gives the highest performance as per AWS. So if you observe, network load balancer are capable of handling millions of the requests per second securely while maintaining ultra low latency. So it can handle millions of the requests. Okay. So when coming to a load, we need a load balancer that can support millions of the requests per second, and that works with TCP protocol and all. Then you obviously need to choose network load balancer. Click on create. Now what is a load balancer name? Same mechanism, guys, just UI got updated, nothing new, everything is same here. Whatever the one we have, this for application load balancer. So same options, but this UI also is going to update. The UI Amazon is updating frequently. So Click on network load balancer. What is the load balancer name? So I'm going to call this as network ELB. So you want to make it as an internet facing or internal? I'm going to set internet facing. So then what is the IP address type? I'm going with IPv4. So network mapping. So in what VPC you want to run? I have only one VPC. What are all the subnets you want to? I'm going to pick AP South 1A. Within that I have only one subnet. And here we have an option. So for this network load balancer, we have an advantage that we can choose our required IP address. Network LB have an advantage. We can have a dedicated or elastic IP address, have a dedicated EIP. So for that, you need to generate an elastic IP address. So let me quickly show you that. See, if you observe this IP address assigned by you or use an elastic IP address, do we have this use an elastic IP address option for our application load balancer? No. So whenever you are creating an application load balancer, so once you select this subnet, see IP address type is there, but who is assigning? It is assigned by AWS only. It is assigned by AWS. But here we have an option. If we generate an elastic IP address, let me quickly do that. I'm going to generate an elastic IP address. Allocate elastic IP address, scroll down, allocate. So now I got an elastic IP address. I can go here, I can give a refresh. So then when I scroll down and when I'm selecting any subnet, see here, I can go and choose assigned by AWS. Amazon is going to give a IP address, but there is no guarantee as that is a fixed and all. But I can go here, I can choose use an elastic IP address. See, now this IP address is going to be fixed IP address for my load balancer. This is a fixed IP address. So this is one of the advantage we have for network elastic load balancer. Okay. So I'm going to choose assigned by AWS here. And I have instance in episode 1B as well. So I'm going to pick that one too. 1C also you can pick. And this, as it is a network load balancer, it works with the TCP protocol only. Okay. So now what is a listener it is going to? It is going to listen on port number 80. And whatever the traffic coming on this port number 80, where you are going to forward this. If you already have a target group, you can go and click this. Click the target group. Otherwise, you can create a target group. Click on create a target group. So what is a target type? You want to go with the target type as an instance or IP address. I'm going with instance. So then what is the target group name? So TCP TZ is a name I'm giving. It is running on port number 80. And health checks, it is going to perform with TCP protocol. Then click on next. What is the instance you want to add? I'm going to pick that instance, include as pending below. Then scroll down, create target group. Okay, we created one target group and the target protocol is TCP. Okay, so I'm creating another one also just to show you. Create target group. I'm creating STTPTG. So now I have two target groups. One is running with protocol that supports HTTP, another one is TCP. If I go here, if I give a refresh, if I'm trying to find, it is showing only one. Why it is showing only one? This network load balancer, but I have two target groups here. I have two target groups. If I go here, if I give a refresh and if I try to pick it, it will show only one. Why? Because it automatically picks the target types that supports TCP. HTTP ones, it won't show. And whenever you are trying to create application load balancer, whenever you're trying to create application load balancer, so here also you have an option to choose the, so instead of new target group, you have an option to choose existing target group. See, if I go and if I try to find, it is showing HTTP target group only. So based on the load balancer type, whatever the target type you configured with the protocol and also only that it shows. See, here it is showing only HTTP, here it is showing only TCP. Why? This is a network load balancer. This is a application load balancer. So that's what supported protocols. So now scroll down. If you want to add another listener, you can go and you can add another listener. Okay, I want to add what are the traffic coming on 8080. I want to redirect it to this particular target group. We can get that. So this is a review screen or summary. Then scroll down, click on create load balancer. So now click on view the network load balancer. Now one network load balancer got created. So the backend uh, algorithm. So it uses like it won't show, but as I mentioned, it uses flow hash algorithm as it is a network load balancer. If application load balancer don't allow to add elastic IP, then how business are using this in fraud? Okay, Vijay. So it will have an IP address. See, whenever you are launching an EC2 instance, are we getting a public IP address or not? Yes, this is a public IP address. Okay. So when you need the fixed public IP address, whenever you want to have a fixed IP address, then only you need that elastic IP address, right? Similarly, for your load balancer, you are going to get an IP address. But do you need a dedicated or fixed public IP address? If your answer is yes, then go and choose elastic IP address. That feature only with network ELB. But for application elastic load balancer also, we are going to get network interfaces in backend that is going to contain like, public IP address and all. That will have a public IP address, but not a fixed one. So end of the day, we are going to deliver this load balancer DNS name. And this DNS name also we don't share to end customer. We are going to map our purchase domain name. For example, you want to deliver avinash.com. You are going to map this DNS name to avinash.com and you are going to give that avinash.com to outside world. Not even this load balancer name and all. So did I answer your question, Vijay?
Yeah, Avinash, got it. We need to map our DNS, like this DNS name with
Yes.
our website.
Yes.
And I think like this load balancer, if we refresh, or we don't have any option of refresh, so this will be on static. It will not change.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
got it.
but you need a fixed one. So then you definitely need to go with the network load balancer only.
Yeah, got it, Avinash. Thank you.
So it's active. So you can grab this DNS name and you can test it. So there you can see we are able to get the output. So this is the output of network load balancer. So only thing that is a supported protocol. Supported protocol is a matter, nothing more than that. Same as application load balancer. Right. So any questions on this, guys? No questions, all good? Okay. So I'm going to delete this network load balancer.
Avinash, I have a question on VPC. Like you selected 1A, 1B, and 1C, but we have our EC2 machine in 1A and 1B only.
Yes, but in future, if you launch any, like, so if you want while creating, select only one A. So initially while registering only one A instances only it will show. It will allow us to add on top of this load balancer. In future, if you want to edit, yes, we do have an option. We can just go and we can select another subnet also. So, but most of the times what we will do, simply we are going to select all the subnets. Why? Because in future, if we when we launch an EC2 instance, instead of editing settings on the load balancer, we can simply go and we can associate. Just for that reason, we are going to select all the three. If you want to select only one, of course, yeah, we can just go and select only one. So then you can just, we do have an option to select only one or two. That's in how many subnets our EC2 instances are running. Based on that, we can select.
Okay. And one more thing, I don't know, am I right or wrong? Like we are not selecting any region, so we are deploying our EC2 instance on specific region, and there only we are creating this VPC.
Exactly. So we are in Mumbai region. Have uh, all my sessions, like every single lab and everything, I'm going to perform in Mumbai region only. So basically, the EC2 is a region specific service. So if I have any target group or load balancer in Mumbai, or if I have any EC2 instance here, I can see when I am in Mumbai region. So we are in Mumbai region, and I'm creating all these resources in Mumbai region. Okay, can we use multiple ELB to same target? Yes, target means an EC2 instance. So one EC2 instance can be member of multiple target groups. That's what some time back I did that, right? So I have only one web server. It is part of HTTP TG. It is part of TCP TG. It can be member of multiple target groups also.
Avinash,
Yes, please.
if you make it part of two target groups, and how we are going to assign it to a domain? Okay, you mean we can
I
add a
missed
two-year
that.
records, right?
Can you please repeat that? I missed that question.
If we are going to add use two target groups, I
Mhm.
mean both Elastic application network and application and network,
Yeah.
how we are going to map this to the domain name using
Domain name,
two
yeah,
A
we will discuss
records?
in Route 53. So after
Okay, okay.
5 more sessions, we will come to that Route 53 module. So there I'll show you where you can purchase for a, where you can get a free domain name and how you can map and all that I'll explain. But for that mapping, we are going to use different service called Route 53.
Okay.
Okay, so now let's start introduction to CloudWatch before directly jumping into this auto scaling group. So, auto scaling group is going to use CloudWatch alarms and all. So let's discuss about CloudWatch. So basically, CloudWatch is a monitoring service on AWS. So if you take any service, for example, you have S3. So you have an S3 bucket. Within that S3, we are going to, whenever we create some resource, we are going to get metrics, right? Monitoring metrics. So here metrics. So these are the graphs it is creating. So within my bucket, I have these many objects. Now I have 221 objects in this particular bucket. And this is what the size. So 2.1 GB is the size of this particular bucket, right? So that one is given by CloudWatch only. Not only that, if you create a load balancer, you are going to get a graph. Even if you take an EC2 instance also, under monitoring, we are going to get these graphs. So these graphs are going to refresh for every 5 minutes. Okay, at 2:15, this graph got refreshed. Again, after 5 minutes later, this graph is like, refreshing for basically for every 5 minutes, it is going to refresh. For every 5 minutes, it's going to refresh. So you can pick particular time slots and all. So that is another thing. So that basic interval, CloudWatch have two monitoring options. One is basic monitoring. This is free. So basic monitoring is 5 minutes interval. In simple, for every 5 minutes, the graphs are going to refresh and it is not going to cost us anything. We have detail monitoring. When coming to this detail monitoring, so this all graphs are going to refresh with 1 minute interval. All graphs are going to refresh with 1 minute interval. So as it is refreshing pretty quickly, it is going to cost us. Okay, so we are good to go with this basic monitoring. And when coming to EC2 resources, we can monitor CPU usage, network usage, disk usage, status checks, but we cannot monitor memory utilization. We cannot monitor memory utilization using default CloudWatch metrics. So this memory is nothing but RAM. So you want to see how much RAM consumed on this particular EC2 instance. See, when you select this instance, when you navigate to monitoring, so if you observe, it's showing CPU, status check, network related ones, disk related ones, but is it showing anything related to memory? No, right? So for memory, we need to go with the different mechanism that we need to install a CloudWatch agent and then only we can monitor that. So that different thing, I'll share a video on that. Basically, it won't comes under free tier eligibility and I made a video on that. I'll definitely share you that. So, but this is important for your certification exam. We cannot monitor memory. Memory is nothing but RAM. We cannot monitor memory utilization by using default CloudWatch metric. But it is not possible. Of course, it is possible, but with custom metrics. So by installing CloudWatch agent in our EC2 instance, we can monitor memory usage and we can get any logs to AWS console. Basically, OS level logs also we can get to AWS console whenever you are installing this CloudWatch agent. So here, this is a 5 minutes interval. So at 2:15, this is what the status. At 2:20, this is the status. And see, for every 5 minutes only, it is giving the thresholds and all. So 0.23 and later it becomes 0.33. So for every 5 minutes, it will show that. So that's what 5 minutes interval is. If you want to enable detail monitoring on any EC2 instance, go and click on manage detail monitoring. Do you want to enable? Enable. So after you enable detail monitoring, Amazon console displays monitoring graphs with a 1 minute period of the instances. But see this additional charges apply. If you want to enable, no big thing. Just select this, click on save. What happens? This graph is going to show results for every 1 minute. Instead of 5 minutes, it shows 1 minute, nothing more than that. You're not going to get any additional graphs and all. So that is an option we have by using CloudWatch. Okay, now I have a scenario where I have this EC2 instance. I want to create an alarm on this EC2 instance. So what is alarm? So basically, whatever the metrics it is, we are able to monitor by using CloudWatch, we can pick one and whenever it is matching with the threshold. For example, as CPU utilization is not even reaching 1%, just see this, is it reaching even 1%? 0.33% and all. So now very less usage of this EC2 instance, right? So what I want to configure, whenever CPU utilization is very low, I want to stop this EC2 instance. Or whenever CPU utilization is very, very high, I want to reboot this EC2 instance. So, or whenever any status check failure happen, I want to stop this and start the EC2 instance. Or I want to recover the EC2 instance automatically. So, such type of options we can configure by using CloudWatch. So let's configure an alarm. Here, do we have any alarms here? Alarm status? No alarms. So click on this plus symbol. It will take us to manage CloudWatch alarms option. So if you already have an alarm, you can go and edit that existing one, or you can create a new alarm. I am going to create a new alarm. Okay, create a alarm. So whenever this alarm got triggered, do you want to get notifications anywhere? Yeah, I want to get notifications to S3 notifications too. So this one SNS topic. So generally in organizations, we are going to have a monitoring team. So we always give monitoring team email IDs here. For example, okay. So I'm going to create a SNS topic. Click on create topic. Go with the standard. Click on standard. What is the topic name? So EC2 notifications. This is a standard name we are going to give for this. Whenever an email got it's in our inbox, what is the name it should show? EC2 notifications. Then scroll down, click on create topic. Now add subscriber. Scroll down, create subscription, and select subscription type as an email. So then to what email you want to? So to this particular email ID, I want to get notifications. So then scroll down, create subscription. Now simply we cannot give someone's email ID, right? So whatever the email ID we have given, we need to log into that email and we need to confirm that subscription. Go here, confirm subscription. Now subscription got confirmed. So we will get notifications here to this particular email box. Right. So now let's navigate here. So I want to get notifications to from this particular topic. We need to give refresh to find that. So alarm notifications. I have picked EC2 notifications SNS topic. Now, see what is the alarm threshold? So when you are going to trigger this alarm, so whenever average, minimum, maximum, so whenever minimum of CPU utilization, whenever minimum CPU utilization is less than or equal to 10% per 5 minutes, one consecutive period of 5 minutes. For example, you want to monitor for 10 minutes. If you go here and if you click, do we have 10 minutes option here? No. Simple. Two consecutive period of 5 minutes is nothing but 10 minutes. So now this alarm, this CloudWatch will go and continuously check, okay, EC2 instance, what is your CPU utilization? Is it less than 10% from last 10 minutes? That means last two consecutive 5 minutes. Is your CPU utilization is 10% less than 10% or equal to 10%? Then take this alarm action. Whenever this alarm got triggered, take this action. So what action you want to take? I want to stop that EC2 instance. So if anything, you're taking anything like, related to this, status check failure happen, system status check or instance status check, in that case, we can choose recover option. So recover option will come whenever our instance is failed to perform, that status checks got failed. In that case, we are going to use. So I'm going to stop this EC2 instance. Scroll down. Whenever the CPU utilization is high, whenever maximum CPU utilization is greater than or equal to 90% for for 15 minutes or 30 minutes, immediately I want to reboot my machine. I can go here and I can choose that. So that option we can pick. So what is the alarm name? So less usage is the alarm name I'm giving. Then scroll down. This is a existing CPU utilization graph. This is what out of 10%, we are picking 10% as threshold. At moment, what is the CPU utilization? This is what CPU utilization. I'm not stopping this EC2 instance. I'm not stopping this EC2 instance. Click on create. Now an alarm got created. It is in running state. Let's wait for some time. So one by one alarm has been created. If you want to see all the alarms created and also you can go to management console, navigate to CloudWatch. Under management and governance, we have CloudWatch. Navigate to CloudWatch. So whenever this CloudWatch detect this threshold and all, it will stop the EC2 instance. So let's wait for some time. So here is the alarms. Whenever you navigate to CloudWatch, alarms are there. In alarm state, anything is in alarm state, insufficient data. Basically, we just created some time back. So it is collecting the data. So then it will come. So alarm OK state means it is not triggered. I mean, the CPU utilization is, if it is above 10%, that will show here. That will show here. Whenever that alarm is triggered, that means less than 10% alarm got triggered, it will show under in alarms. Whenever it is collecting the data or you have configured like a misconfigured and all, so then you will get that under insufficient data. So that it got the metrics, and see here it came to in alarm state. It came to in alarm state, and whenever we go back here, give a refresh, so it is going to stop in some time. Okay, one by one alarm is in alarm state and it is going to stop. So based on this alarm we have configured, whatever the options we have given, whenever that got triggered, so we have asked AWS to stop the EC2 instance. What action you want to take? Send a message. Oh, I think I selected reboot option. Successfully executed reboot. Okay, let's modify this. Actions, edit. Let's double confirm that. What I choose. Whenever the CPU utilization minimum of 5 minutes, then click on next. I selected reboot the instance. I need to stop the instance, update alarm. So now again, I'm going to start this alarm. It got rebooted. So again, it will monitor for 5 more minutes. So whenever it is CPU utilization is alarm got updated, CPU utilization is less than, then it is going to stop the instance. See whether how many times it got executed. If you want to see, you can find that under alarm history. Okay, so this is an alarm on our EC2 instance. So similar alarm CloudWatch provide to auto scaling group. I'll talk about auto scaling group, but I hope the alarm part is clear for everyone. So you can create multiple alarms also. For example, I want to add another alarm where whenever high CPU utilization is there, I want to reboot that instance. I want to stop that instance. Yes, you can create multiple alarms also on our EC2 instance. It supports.
Avinash, this alarm is on each server level. So take an example, we have 100 like servers. So we need to go on individual machine and create an alarm.
Yes. With the topic we discussed now, this alarm at individual instance level. If you want to create an alarm at group of EC2 instances, that we will discuss tomorrow. That means in auto scaling group, we will discuss that. So directly, if I go and if I configure on group of EC2 instances, you will come back with the question, okay, how it is working and all. But now you know how it is working at instance level, then you can easily understand at group level also. Okay, so now Let's discuss a couple of more options are there on this CloudWatch. So when coming to this CloudWatch, we have an option called dashboards. So these dashboards, so generally in our organization, we are going to have like, for example, I need a place where I want to monitor like, for a particular sprint, whatever the resources I'm using, I want to monitor all the resources from a central location. Or for example, you are using one S3 bucket and a couple of EC2 instances, couple of databases for one particular project. So if you want to monitor all that resources, what you need to do, you need to go to EC2, you need to check that. You need to go to S3 and you need to check that. Instead of that, so we can create a central dashboard. From the dashboard itself, you can track all the resources. So that CloudWatch dashboard will do. So click on create a dashboard. What is the dashboard name you want to give? So generally some organizations in some projects, for every sprint we are going to, okay, this is sprint one. So for sprint one, what resources we have used and what is the monitoring. So we can give like, in sprint mechanism also. Otherwise, some organizations, what they will do, they will go with the project level. For example, multiple applications are running here. So, for example, for project one, what are the resources you have used for this project? So then we can add it here. So basically, these are the visualizations we can get. So you want to get in pie chart mechanism or line or bar mechanism or number mechanism, you can. For example, I'm going to take number. Then click on next. What resource you want to? So here is the metric. 1500 metrics available on different services. If you want to get metrics related to application elastic load balancer, yes. So go here regarding what load balancer, how many requests you are getting, that you can get it here. For example, as a simple thing, let's take S3. So scroll down and pick S3 storage metric. Now within that, what S3 bucket you want to monitor? Okay, I want to monitor Avinash bucket. So how many number of objects you have within this bucket? Bucket size in bytes. I want to monitor. Then click on create. So now it is showing dash, but if you are giving like, if you are picking 1 week or like, if you are picking 6 days or 1 week, where is a week? Now, so if we pick it's going to show you the value. So total 221 objects we have here in this bucket and 2.24 is a GB of that particular bucket. So similarly, add another widget. So now I want to get like, line type, then click on next. So metric, yes, click on configure. So now I want to get about EC2 instance. So search for EC2. So you are looking for per instance metric or auto scaling group level metric or by image ID or across all instances in different regions also we can go and pick it here. So I'm going to take per instance metric. So I want to see this web server, whatever the one CPU usage I want to get. So then click on create widget. So see here it is showing what is the CPU utilization of this EC2 instance. Here it is showing 0.34. Similarly, add another widget, whatever the one you required, you can just go here. I'm creating it for a metric. So then go and add. Okay. What exactly you are looking? For example, certificate manager, SSM, when it is going to expire. For example, so we have a certificate. This is going to expire after like, 30 days or 15 days that it shows when it is going to expire. It will show here days to expire is a 0. It is not going to expire. So I can simply, whenever I want to monitor CPU utilization of my server and S3 bucket of my server, I can simply come back to this dashboard and I can give a quick refresh here. Then all the values it's going to refresh. And what is a option from last 12 months or like, last 1 minute or last 2 hours, it will show from last 2 hours. This is what the mechanism. So we can track all the resources here. Okay. So that is a dashboard. Monitor everything from a central location. And one dashboard is free, and don't add more than 50 metrics here, right? So this is like, you can save this dashboard as, or you can share this dashboard with another guys, or you can make it as like, you can rename this, or you can delete this, or you can view or edit the sources, how exactly visualization is happening. This is what, like, uh, whatever the one we configured now backend, this is what the source code for that. So it is showing. Okay, so this overrides whenever you have some live data, and it is going to refresh for like, for every 1 second or every 5 seconds automatically. So that we can, even you can go to full screen mode also. This is what the full screen mode. So monitoring team basically uses this, right? So very simple one. That is a dashboard option. So along with that, we have logs. Basically, whenever we configure like a VPC, we will come back here and we will discuss about the logs. But you can store logs here. So for example, you have an EC2 instance. So whatever the traffic coming to this EC2 instance, you want to monitor all that logs. So for that, basically, we can monitor at NIC level. So this EC2 instance have an NIC card, right? ENI, Elastic Network Interface. So whoever coming and accessing whatever the traffic coming, that goes via NIC card only. So if you want to enable logging at this server, so yes, we have an option called flow logs. Flow logs is an option. We can enable logging at instance level or subnet level or VPC level. Don't worry about subnet level and VPC level. That we will discuss in our coming session. At moment, I'll show with this instance level. So I have this EC2 instance. Whatever the traffic I'm getting into, I want to track that resource here. So navigate, pick that network interface. So this is the network interface of my web server. Go to actions, pick this, go to actions. We have an option called create flow log. Click on create flow log. Now, what is the flow log name you want to give? Okay, web server flow log. So what traffic you want to filter? All the accepted traffic, rejected traffic, all traffic. I'm going to pick all the traffic. So the maximum aggregation interval, I'm going to write these logs for every 1 minute. And where do you want to store these logs? So you can redirect all the logs to an S3 bucket, give the bucket ARN name here. Otherwise, you can choose to store these logs in CloudWatch logs. So whatever the CloudWatch log you have here, you can go and you can pick that. So, but before that, click on create a log group. Under CloudWatch, navigate to log group, click on create log group. And what is a log group name? So web server logs. What is a log retention? Retention means, for example, I want to keep only last 3 days logs or 5 days logs, 7 days logs. Apart from that, it is going to delete everything. So I want to keep all logs for 1 week. So do you want to encrypt these logs by using any KMS key? You can give that. Scroll down, click on create. So log retention. So now go back here, give a refresh, pick that web server logs log group. Now whoever coming and accessing the logs is going to store in this here. It shows here the log string. So now go back here and it need a role. So go and choose look for flow logs role. Look for flow logs role. It is like, it will be available. If you don't have, you need to create a role. If you don't have that, you need to create a role. So that role we will discuss day after tomorrow. So what format of the log you want to get? So this is a AWS format. What account ID, what interface ID, source address, destination address. Instead of that, I need account ID. To what instance it is coming, to what network interface it is hitting, and then what is a source address, And what is the destination address? What is the destination address? I need these information only. So that information is added here. So then click on create flow log. So now one flow log got created on our web server. Now whoever coming and accessing, see, I'm going to grab this public IP address. I'm accessing this. So one request got delivered. I'm giving couple of refresh. Every single refresh is an operation, guys. So now if you wait for some time, then we are going to get logs into this log group, this web server log group. Okay. So let's wait. I'll show you this output after some time. Okay. So that is what this mechanism. So any questions on that, guys?
So take an example. Avinash, we need to share this information for specific team. So can we share this IP address or like this link with the respected project owners instead of like they have all AWS information? Can we control this cloud log stuff by using IAM?
Yes, that's what we do, right? So for example, monitoring team is there. Monitoring team does not require any permissions on our EC2 instance. They need permission only on CloudWatch. That to view the dashboard permission only you need to provide. So in that case, we are going to create an IAM user and we are going to share it with them. So for that IAM user, you're not going to give admin access. So what you're going to give, you can give a like whatever the policies we have. For example, CloudWatch. So these are the CloudWatch policies we have. See, you can give only to monitor the insights. You can give these all related CloudWatch. See, we are giving logs full access only. Logs read only access. So they can just view the logs. Apart from that, if they try to navigate to any other services and all, they cannot access. That's what the permission we are going to provide. On logs, we are giving full access, no other service access. So these permissions we control from IAM.
But he's gonna have an access for all server logs. Like take an example, I'm having 100 EC2 instances. So 100 EC2 instances, I have created this CloudWatch. So
Yeah.
if we get access to this guy, if we
Yeah.
give him permission, then it's not a group level. It's like
I got that. I got that. So in that case, do we have an option like customer managed policies, right? I can create a policy where I can choose that service. Okay, I want to go with the CloudWatch. So then I can go here CloudWatch logs option. Now within this CloudWatch logs option, do you want to give permission on all the resources? Okay, I don't want to give permissions on all the resource. I want to give permission, full permission on this particular log group only. Then I'm going to choose the log group ARN. In what region? In AP South 1 region. What is the log group name? This is what my log group name. I can copy this, I can give it. So he is going to get permissions on this particular log group only. Within this log group, we do have an option called log stream also. Here, if you are creating any particular stream, you can give permission on that particular stream also. See, I'm not giving permission on all the resources. I'm limiting his access only to this particular log group name. Did I answer your question?
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that's what resource level. So this resource level also we can monitor or we can limit their access and all. So that's what the task I given, right? So you have a user one, the user one should get access to only bucket one only. User two should get access to bucket two only. That is the purpose I given the task. So resource level also we can monitor. Right. So here we got as we enable that flow logs, we are getting some logs here. Whenever we click on open this, These are the logs generated. So this is my 12-digit AWS account ID, my instance ID, network interface ID. This is what the, like, from where the traffic is coming and all. So if you observe my IP address, it is 49.206. 49.206. I got some request. From this IP address also someone tried to access. So of course, if you don't, if you want to block for him, yes, you can go and block at VPC level. That's a different thing we will discuss later. But at instance level, we can monitor all the things from here. Right? So that is a logging option in our CloudWatch.
Avinash, these logs also will be taking some space, right, to store the information. So how much days or hours logs we can uh, like
Basically,
customize?
logs won't take much. So we are going to have millions of the logs. So I've never come across that space kind of thing. So if you have, like, if you're having like lot of logs and all, apply a retention. So you can keep only last 5 days logs, last 1 day log. So whatever the log is older than 1 day, it's going to delete automatically, right? So that we can manage by using this retention.
Okay, Avinash. Yeah, got it.
So when coming to this auto scaling group concept, so I won't deep dive into that. I'll just give a high level overview. So for example, you have an EC2 instance. You have your application, you're running that application, couple of EC2 instances, and you have an elastic load balancer. Now your application is running on these two EC2 instances. So we have two scenarios. Whenever you know the load on these resources, for example, uh, the load is going to be fixed, and always you require two EC2 instances to deliver your application. So, but what is happening due to some reasons, application failure reasons, or some failures happening, or AWS have, like, some geographical location failures and all, one EC2 instance is stopping multiple times due to some reasons. So whenever this EC2 instance got stopped, so you always need two EC2 instances to deliver your application. So what this auto scaling group will do, it will verify what is the desired count or desired value and actual value. So my desired count is 2. So that means I always want to run my application with two EC2 instances. But actual value, as this instance is terminated, if both are up and running, it is going to 2 only. But one EC2 instance got terminated, my actual value came to 1. So then what happens? Immediately, Amazon will try to launch another EC2 instance. It will always try to maintain your desired count and actual count. How many instances actually delivering and what is your desired count? It will always try to maintain. This is one case where we use auto scaling group. Okay. So another case is that you have two EC2 instances, and sometimes the workload is not predictable. Sometimes you're getting a lot of traffic, sometimes you're getting very less traffic. So you want to manage the resources automatically. You want to scale automatically. So in that case, when the load is very high, so two EC2 instances is not sufficient. You want to run your application with 4 EC2 instances. Okay. So whenever workload is very, very less, only one EC2 instance is sufficient. Whenever the load is maximum, I want to run with 4 EC2 instances. So the maximum value I can define as the 4, and minimum. So minimum is 1 EC2 instance. So when you want to go with the minimum as a 1, so we can take a metric. Okay, group metric it is going to consider. Whenever the CPU utilization is less than or equal to 10% for a consecutive period of, like, 2 5 minutes or 1 15 minute. So I want to run my auto scaling group with minimum of 1 EC2 instance. Why? The load is very, very less. The CPU utilization is less than 10%, less than 10%. So I want to go with only 1 EC2 instance. Fine. When CPU utilization is more on these EC2 instances, so then the CPU utilization greater than or equal to 80% for consecutive of 5 minutes, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, you can pick any. So then the load is very high on existing instances, then immediately I want to scale up to 4 EC2 instances. To end customer, this guy don't know how many web servers it is delivering or how many it is. Like, backend, he is simply giving avinash.com, that's it. Or he is simply giving whatever the domain you have mapped. So, but it is coming to load balancer. This load balancer is managing all this in backend. That like, in between, for example, when CPU utilization is 20%, how many it is going to run with the desired count or actual count. Excuse me, guys. Right. So it is going to in between, like 11% to 79%. It is going to run with the desired count. So 2 EC2 instances you can choose. For stable workload, how many you required? For low workload, how many you required? For maximum workload, how many you required? That we can choose. And Amazon is going to scale these automatically by using an option called auto scaling group. Now you might get a doubt. So whenever new instance got created, here new instance is creating, right? Initially we have two, the utilization is more, so it need to create two EC2 instances. So for that two EC2 instances, so what operating system it is going to pick and what application it is going to pick. So that's why we are going to create a golden AMI. We are going to use that golden AMI while configuring this auto scaling group. And how many instances created or removed, end customer should not get affected with that. So end customer need a load balancer, so that everything is going to come to load balancer. Whatever the new instance created, it will come and register to the load balancer. Whatever the one you have deleted, it will deregister from the load balancer. So we need a elastic load balancer also. So after creating this golden AMI and elastic load balancer, then we are going to create a auto scaling group. This auto scaling group creation involved with two steps: launch configuration, auto scaling group, that we will discuss later. Right, in our Monday session, we are going to discuss those things. Right. So this is just an introduction. We are going to perform hands-on in our next session. So any questions before closing the session, guys? Log flow is capturing application traffic activity, or it can also work on instance level. So basically, it will monitor at instance level only. If you want to track some logs at OS level, we need to install CloudWatch agent. We can monitor memory usage. Even we can get any logs to AWS console. Any logs is nothing but application logs or OS level logs. We just need to give the path. Okay, this is a path where my logs are storing. We need to give that path and it will come here. So as I mentioned, I'll share a video. Give me a minute. I'll do that. No. Yeah, this is a video where you can enable custom CloudWatch metric. So, but remember, this is going to cost us. So go through this. You can, this is a video. Create custom CloudWatch metrics. And in the same video, I have shown like, so do you want to monitor any host level and all CPU per core, individual per core, additional CloudWatch charges may apply. So do you want to like, collect any of the things? So that we need to configure as part of that. Like, I have configured it. So for what instance you want to, this is, so we can even monitor on-premise server also. So is it for your EC2 instance or on-premise server? So with what level of permission you want to run the agent? So those all things we need to configure. So just take some time and go through this video. That definitely helps you to understand more of this, right? Slack channel URL, CloudWatch agent is free. So agent is free, but what options you are configuring, based on that you are going to get charged. That I explained in this video, Vijay. So Slack channel, still you guys are not part of channel. Invite, yeah, here it is. Copy invitation link and I'm posting it here for everyone. Go through this. So that is one option, and I'm going to paste that in our document also. Whoever is not part of that, please go and join that. Why? Because I'm going to share material through Slack channel only. At least for that material, join that Slack. Once you're done with that, you can exit. And it doesn't require your phone number. It even don't display your email address also. So it's full secured coming to privacy part. All right, so that's it for today's session. See you again on Monday, guys. Do we have SAM CLI in our course? So we are going to discuss CLI. We are going to discuss about what exactly CLI option we have, and how we can configure CLI, how to access all the resources, that we are going to discuss. With AWS CLI option. Right. Okay, so that's it for today's session. See you again on Monday, guys. Thank you. Have a nice weekend.